Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Now, today we're going to start a new series. It's going to be the Belgian Beer Series, and we're going to start off with a bit of a bang with a pressurised keg of Affligem. Now, Affligem is a blonde. You can get doubles and triples and things like this, and we will be looking at lefts and Duvals and all this type of stuff, and we will be looking at doubles, triples and quadruples and things like this. But this is a nice Belgian beer, and it's a 5 litre keg. It's a pressurised keg. It's one of the Heineken kegs, so basically it pours from the top, not from the bottom. So this is distributed by Heineken. It's made in Belgium, and everything is in French and well, I would say Flemish is probably the best way of putting it, but yes, a lot of it's in French. So I'm going to be putting this in the beer machine. So it's 5 litres. It cost me £22 from Beer Wolf. It's a 6.7% blonde. I'll lift it up on the sheet. There we go. I think that is, yeah. So there we go. 6.7%. Do a wee picture. So, without further ado, I'm tired. Let's get this in the machine, and we'll see what it's like. So I will be back in a moment. So, excuse me, back from the pour, and as you can see, we've got a nice looking beer. Oh God. If you wonder why I'm riffing quite a lot, is I had to deal with quite a lot of foam. I poured it into a smaller glass initially. In fact, I'll just show you. So the first pour, basically the foam was filled right up to the top there. That's how much beer you were getting. So you usually get that with the pressurised kegs compared to the kind of lesser pressurised ones, or the just the slightly gassed ones. And oh well, anyway, let's have a sniff. Right, I'm getting malts, light malts, getting a light sweetness as well. I'm getting some grains, so I'm some grain, some grassiness. And I'm getting kind of a slight alcohol smell from it. You know, more than like you would normally get as a beer smell, but you're getting obviously a bit more alcohol because it's a 6.7, so you are getting a bit more of a little alcohol accents as well. You're knowing that this is a stronger beer than normal. And of course, obviously, if you've ever drunk Carlsberg Special or Tennant Super Strength or Kestrel or all these type of beers that they do have, as they get in towards the kind of the 9s and the 10%, they really become quite chemically with the alcohol smell. It's like a alcohol kind of detergent kind of smell. It smells like a bloody hospital cleaner basically. So anyway, it's kind of dissipated, but we are getting light malts, a slight sweetness, and of course, yeah, we're getting grains and grass, which of course is hops. It's a nice kind of straw coloured, light golden blonde beer. So let's see what it's like. Oh, well, hello there ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's actually very nice. Yeah. Oh, initial impressions is, if you compare it to, I think the last one we did in the kegs was the Pelforth, which was the French beer. And even then that was roughly about 5.8, this is a 6.7. There's a big difference in flavour, so there is. The other one was quite light for that alcohol content, was quite a light beer, very, very easy to drink, probably too easy to drink. There was no real kind of any bitterness to it or things like that. It was a kind of a malty kind of sweetness you were getting to it. Not really sweet, but you were getting kind of malty sweet accents. It just made it very palatable and very, very easy to drink. This does have a bit of bitterness to it. So let's break down the flavours. Right, so what you're getting is a little bit of malty sweetness coming in at the start. Very light, and just as it starts to move towards the mid-tongue, that's when the hop bitterness starts to build up, and you're getting most of your hop bitterness on the mid-tongue, not in the aftertaste. So you're getting a kind of hoppiness to it, and then as you're coming into the aftertaste, you're just getting a little bit of crispness, a little bit of dryness with the flavour, which is the best way to kind of describe it. It's just a little bit of acidity, but then it's kind of slightly dissipating away and you're left with a sweetness. Now here's the thing, the sweetness in the aftertaste is actually stronger than the sweetness at the start of the mouth. So you're just getting little hints of sweetness to start with. Then the hops are coming in mid-tongue, and there's plenty of hops. There's a good bitterness. I mean, we're not talking about huge amounts, but for this type of beer, there's a good bit of bitterness there just to kind of break up the monotony. But surprisingly, you're actually getting a sweeter finish. So it's a very pleasant, very easygoing aftertaste because of that. But there is that slight acidity, ever so slight acidity, which gives you that kind of slight crispness and dryness to it. And yeah. It is a very nice beer. Excuse me, doing well a minute. Got a lot of wind today, a lot of wind. But yes, compared to the last one, this is sessionable, yes, but in a different way. This just feels like it's a bit more mature, just a bit more developed in a way than the Pilfrith. Now, I'm not going to need to lie, the Pilfrith was very nice, and I found it very easy drinking, very refreshing, and I found no hindrance me actually drinking it. I'm sure that comes as a huge shock and surprise to you. And I didn't struggle with it, and it didn't last very long. I've got a funny feeling this is going to be the same, but from a different kind of perspective. It is sessionable, maybe not as sessionable. It's not as so easy to drink as the Pilfrith that we did from France, but this beer, it's just there is a bit more to it than that, and the flavours is a little bit more complex. But it's a lovely mouthfeel, and of course I think the majority of that is actually coming from the keg, whether it's coming through a beer machine or whether you're actually using the actual tap system that comes with it and it pours from the top. You're still going to get the benefits of the keg setup compared to bottles or cans, and they are more drinkable. I mean, this was quite interesting. As you can see, it's now dissipated completely now, and you're just really left with the beer now, and not so much of the head. But with the kegs you do get a far better product for mouthfeel, and of course we did compare the Doom Bar to the bottle, and it was almost like two different beers. You're getting flavours in the keg that just were not present at all in the bottle, so that's something to kind of think about. But yes, I would say it's fairly sessionable. This is a beer I would probably drink with friends. I wouldn't probably drink so much. It's not one of these ones to kind of sit there and drink yourself, because at 6.7, I mean, you're going to feel it the next morning when you're getting wired into it. So it's a good one to probably drink with friends, so it's a case so you can watch them and get themselves a hangover as well, which is quite good. But yes, it is very drinkable, but again it's a beer that you can have a little bit of a talking point about as well. And it's a good starter, because again we're going to look at blondes in bottles, and we're going to look at a lot of other kind of similar types of beers from different Belgian producers, beer brewers, and yeah, you're going to see good ones and bad ones, you're going to see the differences, but I would say that one of the major points is the keg. The keg is a big game changer, and it does give you a very, very drinkable beer. I mean, you're drinking it, and I mean, basically, you're drinking like one of the kind of mainstream piss waters, and I mean, it's that kind of level of how easy it is to drink, but the flavours are a lot nicer, a lot more developed and mature than kind of the likes of the Fosters and the Stella Artois and all this type of stuff. But you've also got to remember this is a 6.7, and if I mean, I'm trying to remember now, even Foster's is roughly about what, 4.5%. You've got basically Stella Artois roughly about 4.6%. This is a 6.7, and this has got some lovely flavour profiles, very easy to drink. I mean, you could drink it just as easy. You could drink a pint of this just as easy as you drink a pint of Stella Artois or things like that. The problem is you're obviously consuming a lot more alcohol, but you don't feel as if you're drinking more alcohol, just because the flavours are on point, they're very nice, and yeah, it just tends to kind of put everything to shame in a lot of ways. So my view is, instead of buying, you know, whatever multi-pack of mainstream piss water in the lager front, get yourself a keg of this, get that in the fridge, crack it open, whether through a beer machine or through the actual tap provided, and enjoy it. And I would say you'd have a far, far better evening and a lot more enjoyable time drinking this than drinking the kind of mainstream piss water. So what would I give it out of 10? Out of 10, I'm going to give this a 7. I mean, it's just the blonde. I mean, obviously being into the doubles and triples, and the flavours are going to obviously be developed a lot more. They're going to be a lot more complex and things like this. But a blonde is kind of, it should be a lighter, more sessionable, easy drink beer, but within the kind of Belgian kind of brewing kind of criteria, even though it is a lighter beer, it should still be ticking certain flavour profiles and everything else, and it is. It does have the bitterness, it does have the crispness stroke dryness, it does have the malty sweetness. It is a well brewed beer. It's 7 out of 10. I'm going to enjoy this. It's not going to last very long. So thanks for watching, cheers, and bye for now.